Welcome back, everybody. Once again, the Caterpillar D4 diesel engine teardown continues. I'll show you what we're working on today. Okay, I worked a little bit on this the other night, off camera, but we've got the water pump, excuse me, got the water pump off, neck, of course, y'all see me take the radiator off. I'll get this camera to focus here. Got the intake and exhaust manifold off. I was surprised how easily that came off. I figured every exhaust manifold I've ever fooled with before in my life, they never just unbolt. Usually bolts break, you gotta cut them off or something, but every one of these came off with no problem. They actually weren't even really tight. So we're around on this side now, and today we're going to try to get the injection pump off, this filter housing tower. We'll try to get all that off. I've already gotten the nuts loose on the back side of this. Kind of hard to see back over in there. Wasn't too hard. Just gotta get the ones on the front. Gotta go in here yet and disconnect the shaft. So yeah, let's get to it. Before we get started here, let me just go over a couple things. I know a lot of people thought that, we was going to get this pony motor lined out for this thing, throw it back on here, and try to fire this thing up. And ultimately, I mean, that is what I wanted to do. But, through the condition of the pony motor, seeing how bad it was, having to take it to the machine shop, still waiting on it. Might as well just tear into this thing, start seeing how bad stuff is. 'Cause, I know stuff's gonna be wore out in it. So what little bit I've went on it, taking stuff apart, you can see how bad stuff is in it. Corroded up, nasty, rust, water jacket stopped up with rust, dirt, debris, which is not uncommon on something that's 80 years old. So this is more or less just going to turn into a complete tear down and restoration, I guess you would say. Because, had we have just fixed the pony motor and threw it on here and tried to start this thing, it may have started up and ran, but chances are it would have tore something up major. For one, there would be no cooling going on because all the passages are, at least on the pony motor side, were blocked up tight. And, I can see by getting the water pump off, there's a bunch of junk in there too. So it constitutes a total tear down to clean everything. And so my intentions is to, get this thing tore down and try to get this engine removed from the dozer and get it out here where we can tear it plumb down. I'm talking pull crankshaft out, pull cylinder sleeves out, and clean everything inside it, inspect everything. Because what I've been seeing is on some of these engines like this is you'll find cracks in the block, and that's what we need to remove all this stuff so we can try to find any of that. Because you got so much stuff hanging off the side of this engine, it's hard to see stuff like that, and you can't tell till you get all that removed and start scraping all the grease and gunk off the side of the engine. Because there's still a potential that we could have a cracked block. I don't think we do from what I've seen, but that's why we're tearing it down farther, just to see what we got. Because there was water in the oil, but I don't think it was from like a coolant leak. There wasn't a whole lot, maybe about a half a quart, and that could have been just from condensation over the years. Water had accumulated inside it. But however, there is some oil in the coolant. At least it looks like there's oil in the coolant, but that could have been from the pony motor too, gaskets and stuff. It did leak pretty bad. I don't know. That's why we're tearing it down, trying to see what we got. So, enough talking. Let's get to it. We'll start out by going in here. You got to disconnect the shaft that comes from your injection pump, and it should be behind this little door right here. There it is. Try to get you guys in there where you can see. Hopefully that'll show up and you can see it. All we gotta do is it's got a cotter pin back here, and right back there's the cotter pin to tip that screwdriver. Pull that out, pull this pin out. This arm here should just kind of fall forward into here, and then that disconnects it from everything. And then we just take these last 3 bolts out, and then all this back here can just slide back and come off. So we'll see what we can get on it here. There's the cotter pin. Should just be able to get a hold of this pin, pull it out. There it is. Now it's free, other than getting the bolts out. Okay, we'll see if it'll come loose now. Say this thing's pretty heavy. Give it a shot here. It's trying to come loose. It's trying to come. Well, the gasket's kind of holding it up right there. Yeah. When you do this too, you might want to put you a pan down there. I've got a pan down there because when you separate that, old diesel fuel is going to start coming out. Other thing is, like I said, I can't really tell exactly how heavy this thing is. It's kind of awkward positioning here to try to get a hold of it. Like everything else on this, it's just stuck. Well, I got it off there. Forgot to push the record button. But yeah, I had to reposition there, and I'd actually forgot to unhook this oil line, or line right here on the bottom of that thing. So I had to get that off too. And in doing so, I forgot to push record. But yes, it's off now. Fairly heavy. Probably about 50 pounds. It's just awkward while you're trying to get in here to get it off. But see, that's what I was talking about. The more stuff we take off here, the better we can see this block. And see if we got any cracks or anything going on here. So we'll just carry on. Some other guys I've seen rebuilding these things, this is the point where they run into finding the cracks going down like this cylinder, you know, it just has to do from water freezing in there. And I'll be honest with you, from the looks of these water jackets in this thing, I don't know if it's ever had I don't know if it's had antifreeze in it or not. I haven't seen anything broke or cracked yet. I did actually test the nasty stuff that I dumped out of here with an antifreeze tester, and it did show up that it had some antifreeze in it, so yeah, go figure. Alright, we'll see if we can get the rest of this off here. Okay, just trying to get this fuel line hooked. I've got it loose, but there's not enough give in it to push it back. I mean, I thought, well, I could unhook it at the tank, but it'd probably be the same thing. So I'm gonna try loosening the pump up here and see if I can spin it and get it to come out of the fuel line. Don't know if that's the correct way, but that's what we're gonna try. Gloves are pretty good, but sometimes you just gotta take them off so you can feel what you're doing. Like the whole stud's coming out on this side. Let's see, I think that should let that come loose. Give it a little tap here. It's trying to come off there. Just hope I got enough play on the fuel line to let it come out and then twist. There we go. Another good reason why to have a pan down there. I thought I heard something fall in it. And, well, I knew that washer was in there, but there's a little key that come out of there. That's what I heard hit. It could have been bad if we'd lost that. Okay, I got it off there finally. Let me tell you something. That took like an hour to get that thing off there. Maybe longer, I don't know. It's just, there's so much dirt packed in behind it. Made it really hard to get it off there. I finally got it. Here it is on the floor. So, yeah. That was really tough. Now we got that part. Now we can, well, we can kind of clean this block up a little bit and just kind of check the sides of it out. And next step will be kind of getting around here to the front on some of this stuff. We got to get the pulley off because that pulley has to come off before you can ever pull that front cover off. So, yeah, that's a little bit more took apart on it. Well, I've made it about as far as I can with the front cover. I gotta pick up a socket I don't have. It's the crankshaft nut is an 1 7/8. I don't have one of them. So we'll go ahead and pull this valve cover loose and see what things look like under here. You know, probably should have been one of the first things I took off, but I know this is probably what a lot of people's wanting to look at, see what this looks like. Got plenty of crud in the threads, I know that. That's what I'd do too. All right, get you guys around where you can see. Well, that's interesting. See, that one's out right there. That would be your push rod. I guess you'd call it a push rod, yeah, for your lifter, for your valve. So that thing, it's probably bent. Interesting. Other than that, looks pretty decent. It's not all rusted up and nasty. I'll go over here real good, and if I find anything, I'll show you guys. Trying to get that thing to break through there. Yeah. Hold this. Okay, before I pull all these push rods out, I'm gonna get something to mark them. That way I can put them back in the same spot. But that one right there, I don't know. Look bent sitting in there. Try to get that thing to focus. I don't know. Don't look bent out here. Could be, I don't know. Thought maybe that valve could have been stuck or something, but you know, when this thing was down in the field, I cranked this engine over with a pipe wrench, but it was only like a 18-inch pipe wrench. It wasn't huge or anything. You'd think if it had a stuck valve, I wouldn't be able to turn it over. It's hard to tell. One thing I noticed when I climbed up here looking, if you look at the top of these push rods, every one of them's got a little bit of oil in them, which, you know, they're supposed to. Until you get to that one. That's the one that was in question there. If I can get the focus on it. So I'm gonna say, even that one there's got a little bit, but that one there's pretty dry. I'm gonna say that the last time this thing ran, that push rod was not against the rocker arm like it's supposed to be. It wasn't getting any oil in it. But the push rod itself looks to be okay. It's not hurt or scratched, or doesn't seem to be bent. I'll check a little bit better with the straight edge. I don't know. Might be the tappet down there could be stuck. I know when you drop this in here, you can actually get it off, and it goes over to the side a little bit if you don't watch. It's got to sit right down in like a little cup. So somehow or another, I would say the tappet or something got stuck and this turned and went sideways. It's the only thing I can figure. Guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up right here. It's getting late, and gotta get ready to take off, do church and Christmas stuff tomorrow. Got a couple more days before Christmas, so this will probably last video up until sometime after Christmas. But you know, made a little bit more progress on the D4. Got a few more things tore apart on it. Still staying pretty pumped about it. So hopefully around the first year, should hear something on that pony motor. You know, in the way of that, where they get it done, get it ready to bring back in here and start putting back together. So the tear down continues on this. I'm hoping for the next week or so, you know, because I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to get out here, you know, work on this thing this week. But I'm gonna try to get the head off this thing so we can check out the pistons and stuff like that, get the oil pan off of it. Shooting for getting the engine off, you know, shortly as time allows us. So give us a thumbs up and leave a comment, and y'all have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching.